Hello, dear students. Good morning. Today, I am going to start with a new lesson, that is Chapter 7, Conservation of Plants and Animals. Dear students, hope you are doing well with your studies. You have already completed your third unit test. So, now we are looking onwards for Essay 1. So, students, practice well. Still, now I am dealing with chapter 7. Still have to complete two chapters, and I will be completing those chapters. Till then, you have to do your revision. You have to study well with all the 9 lessons that are there for Essay 1. So, the essay one will be maybe you will be attending the school during that time, or you may be at the home as the government orders. We will be taking the action. So, today we are going to learn a new lesson, and the lesson name is Conservation of Plants and Animals. This lesson is a continuation of the lesson that you have learned about forest lesson last year, about Bujo and Peheli visiting the forest along with Professor Hamad and Tibu. Hope you are very familiar with the lesson. You hope you remember that lesson till now. So that is something a continuation of that lesson, how they visited the forest. So uh, today we are going to learn this lesson, and this lesson is a very easy lesson. This lesson tells about the conservation. Conservation means protecting, preservation. How we can preserve these plants and animals that are left in our planet. They are not much in number. They are not more in number as they were earlier. Their number has been decreased now, and now how we can conserve that. That is what we will learn today. And in this lesson, we will learn about so many points or names of some of the uh, conservation centers. For example, it may be a biosphere reserve, a national park, wildlife sanctuary, tiger reserve. So, have you heard about these words? That biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuary, national park, tiger reserve. So these are the areas where animals and plants are preserved or conserved. So why there is a need of all these things? Forest plants and animals are commonly they have to be found in a forest, but why we have to preserve? Why we have to conserve it? It is because of all these points. So first point you have to remember, that is deforestation. What is deforestation? We all know what is deforestation: cutting of trees on a large scale. The clearing of forest and using the land for other purpose is called deforestation. You are cutting the trees and you are clearing the forest. Then that is called deforestation. On the forest land you are using it for in many other purpose. Forest land is converted into village or city or industrial area, and that is called deforestation. The causes for deforestation are procuring land for cultivation. So you are procuring or turning the land for cultivation, that is for agriculture. Building houses and factories, you are turning the forest land to build houses and factories. Then next point is using wood and fuel for making furniture. So you are clearing the forest or cutting the trees for use as wood for furniture and also for wood for fuel. So these are some of the man-made changes, that is deforestation. And what are the natural causes? The natural causes of deforestation are forest fires and drought. Forest fires, you are very familiar with the forest fire, because this forest fire can clear all the forest wildlife, even it may be a plant or an animal. So that forest fire may be caused because of man, okay, because of his activity. Means he can put the fire, okay, and also it may also cause because of the so forest fire can also cause because of ignition, increasing the ignition temperature of the grasses, or striking the wood. Okay, wood also causes friction, and the friction causes heat, and it leads to forest fire. There are so many reasons. So natural cause, and also it also because of the drought means if there is no rainfall for many years, continuously for 3 years, if there is no rainfall, then because of the water scarcity, the plants will not grow well, and the forest area will be completely destroyed, and that is called drought. So these are all the causes for deforestation. So what is happening, first is deforestation. Forest is getting cleared, forest is decreasing, the area of the forest is decreasing year after year, and that is why there is less number of plants. If number of plants are less, then there will be less number of animals. Consequences of deforestation. Consequence means what is the uh, what happens if there is deforestation. So if man is going on but clearing the forest, if man is going on cutting the forest, what happens next? What are the consequences we have to face? See here, there will be increase in temperature and pollution level on the earth. So increase in temperature because if there is more amount of carbon dioxide, so who is taking the carbon dioxide which are released by the animals and human beings, or because of the vehicles or factories? So who is receiving the carbon dioxide? Plants, okay, trees. So if the plants are cut down, what happens? There is no other way to balance this gas. Okay, so I already told in the last chapter that there is a balance between all the gases, between oxygen and carbon dioxide, and that balance, the balancing is done by plants. So if you are cutting the plants, so what happens? There is no, the carbon dioxide level will increase, okay, and that cause in the rise in temperature, and this is also causing pollution. So next point, you see, increase in the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere leads to global warming. I already told it leads to global warming. Next, lowering of groundwater level. So this last year you have learned that this forest helps to increase the groundwater level, because it acts as a sponge. It will absorb all the water that falls on it during the rainy season, and it increase the water level, groundwater level. If there is no forest, it is the groundwater level is lowering, and you won't get water from the ground also, underground water also you won't get. Disturbs the balancing nature. Disturbs the balancing nature means even oxygen balance also is disturbed, and also there will be imbalance between the plants and animals also. If plants are not there, animals won't be there, okay, because plants get shelter and food from the animals get food and shelter from the plants. Decrease in rainfall leading to drought. So if more the area of forest in a particular place, there will be a lot of rainfall, okay. So that okay, because of evaporation and all, because of the cloud formation on that particular area, there will be more number of rainfall on that area. So you all know that, for example, in Karnataka state, this one Agumbe, okay, it receives more rainfall because of the forest land. In India, Chirapunji in Meghalaya, it receives more rainfall because of the forest area. So forest also helps in the rainfall. If there is decrease in rainfall, it causes drought. What is drought? Okay, no water, no rainfall, that leads to what it leads to no life, okay. Drought, baregala antarala, baragala, okay. Next, soil erosion and decrease in soil fertility leading to desertification. And there will be soil erosion because there are no roots to hold the soil. If roots are not holding the soil, there will be the top layer of the soil will be washed away in the rainwater or with the air, and it leads to soil erosion. The fertile soil will be loosed, and the soil will be fit for nothing. That is called soil erosion. And decrease in soil fertility. If soil erosion is happening, there will be decrease in soil fertility. The fertility of the soil is washed away with the rain or with the air, and this leads to desertification. So that land is fit for nothing, and at last it becomes a desert. No plants or no trees will grow there. Next, decrease in the water holding capacity of soil leading to flood. So even water if only the forest roots or plants help to receive the water to the ground. If there is no water holding capacity of the soil, it leads to flood also. So these are all the consequences of deforestation. First of all, we are learning about conservation of plants and animals. Why we have to conserve the plants and animals? Because there is deforestation, and these are the causes of deforestation. So this is what drought. What is the meaning of drought? See, fewer trees would mean that less carbon dioxide. Fewer trees means less trees. That will mean less carbon dioxide and will be used up, resulting in its increased amount in the atmosphere. This leads to global warming as carbon dioxide. As carbon dioxide traps the heat rays reflected by the earth. We all know what is the carbon dioxide. What will happen if there is increased level of carbon dioxide? It leads to global warming. The increase in temperature on the earth disturbs the water cycle. So here, if the temperature is increased, then the earth it disturbs the water cycle and may reduce rainfall. This causes drought. You can see the land with no water, and that is called drought. And see a desertification. Removal of top layer of the soil exposes the hard and rocky lower layer. So at the top, what will be there? There will be fertile soil which is rich in humus, and if that fertile soil goes away, what happens? Only hard soil or rocky layers will be exposed, which has less number of humus and air. As they are less fertile, soil becomes like desert, and it is called desertification. So this all we have learned about in last year. About in the soil chapter we had learned, okay, and the layers of soil we have learned. We know that the top layer is rich in humus. If the top layer is gone, then there will be the below, what will be there? There will be soil which is less in humus, and this is fit for nothing. It is not fit for the plants to grow, and this leads to desertification. So many land has converted into desert nowadays. Conservation of forest and wildlife. So now, because of all these problems, we need to conserve the plants and animals. It is a high time. If we are not conserving the plants and animals, then our life on this earth will be very impossible. So we have to do something. See here, forest and wildlife. Wildlife refers to animals, understood? Animals, birds, everything will come in this wildlife, even reptiles, crocodiles, everything. Forest and wildlife can be conserved by setting up areas like biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries, national park, etc. So we are going to learn about these three things: biosphere reserve, national park, wildlife sanctuaries. So now what government has planned is we are converting some of the land of the forest as a biosphere reserve, national park, wildlife sanctuaries. So if government is doing such things, there will be a strict order passed, or there will be a mini forest officer guarding the forest. Okay, so they are converting that part of the forest into so many sector, that is biosphere reserve, national park, wildlife sanctuaries, and that area will be very much protected, and there will be no illegal killing of animals or transportation of all the animal items. Okay, we all know that animals are killed for its skin, nails, okay, flesh, tusk, so many things. So that will be banned. So if they find such people doing that, they will be punished very severely. So that is a very good idea, na, protecting the forest under the government. That is very good idea. So first we will learn about biosphere reserve. See here, biosphere reserves are large areas compared to all these national park and wildlife sanctuary. Biosphere reserve means it is a large area of protected land for conservation of biodiversity and the traditional life of the tribal living there. So in this land, in this biosphere reserve, in this land, large area is protected, very large area. In that area, yeah, animals are protected. Animals in the sense, so many varieties of animals are protected. Okay, so many varieties, and also plants are also having different varieties. They are also protected, and also along with that, Tribals are also protected. Tribals means what? The people living in the forest. Some people, still now, some group of people, and they are called tribals. They are in the forest, they live in the forest, they are not ready to come outside, means they are very much acquainted, or they are adapted to live in that area. So those people are, they won't come outside to the village or city, so they are called tribals, and they like to stay there. We all know that water tribals, they don't come outside, they don't wear any such synthetic fabrics, or some clothes. What clothes are available in the forest? For example, it may be it may be a skin of the animal, or so many things get out from plants. What are available, that they are using for their dress, and also they use medicinal plants for their disease. They get food from the plants also, plants and animals. So such people are not disturbed, they are staying there. Even tribals are also protected, plants are also protected, animals are also protected in biosphere reserve. So it is a large area. Then national park. National park are area reserved for wildlife, where they can freely use the habitats and natural resources. So national park, they are not larger than biosphere reserve, but they are the areas reserved for wildlife. Okay, so the wildlife, so here animals will be protected along with the plants also, where they can freely use the habitats and natural resources. So the plant, instead of keeping these animals in a zoo, so this is a good idea. Okay, biosphere reserve, national park, instead of keeping them in a zoo, the animals are freely allowed to move in the forest. Okay, but the animal don't know that they are protected, but they are guarded. There will be okay, there will be a boundary made for the animal, they are protected. Okay, next is wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuaries are the areas where animals are protected from any disturbance to them or their habitat. So they are wildlife sanctuaries. There also animals are freely to move in their habitat. So they are very free, very much free. They don't know that they are preserved. It is not like a zoo. They are not in a cage. They are allowed to move freely. Okay, and they are protected. So this is biosphere reserve. You can understand. See, in the biosphere reserve, there will be a rivers. There will be so much of water bodies like ponds, lake. So tribals are there. There are animals, plants, varieties of animals are there. See, a biosphere reserve are large area of protected land for conservation of biodiversity. Biodiversity means there will be so much of, how in India there are so many, how in India there are so many people, types of people. In our state there are so many types of people, but there are so different having different cultures. We all live together na, in the same way. In the forest also, so many varieties of plants and animals live together, and that is called biodiversity. So we are conserving the biodiversity and the traditional life of the tribals living there. So that is what, this is resource. Here the people are tribals are protected, animals, biodiversity of animals are protected, plants and protected. Next, biodiversity is a variety of plants. So what I already told, what is biodiversity? It is a variety of plants, animals and microorganisms found in the area. Some examples are given. See, the Pachmari Biosphere Reserve consists of a national park called Saptapura and two wildlife sanctuaries like Bori and Pachmari. So here, see this one biosphere reserve. They inside that biosphere reserve, they may also contain national park and wildlife sanctuaries also. So that, what does it mean? This biosphere reserve is a large area, and it consists of national park also, wildlife sanctuaries also, some biosphere reserves. Okay, it doesn't mean that all the biosphere reserve consists of national park and wildlife sanctuaries. Sometimes it will be separate, but you have to think that biosphere reserve is a large area protecting so many plants and animals and also tribals. So this is a picture. So you now will come to know what is biosphere reserve. Okay, so this is a large area, water bodies are there. So here animals are very happy in this. Okay, compared to zoo, and the life of animals in a zoo, I think it is not so happy, and here the animals will be very happy. So this is the best way to conserve the plants and animals. So tomorrow I'll be sending the next video where we can learn still more things about conservation of plants and animals. Till then, bye.